Hi, I wanted to do a video on how I edited these pictures right here and just kind of show you my editing process and how you can literally do the same pictures. So I'm gonna start a screen recording. Let's hope I don't just like end up not recording this because I keep like turning my phone off and then it stops the screen recording. Um, so the first thing I do is I'm gonna show you the old pictures. So this is what they looked like originally. Very simple. I was just standing next to a white wall. My friend took flash pictures of me, different poses, different angles, and then I went in and removed my red eye because I get every time I use flash, my eyes are just red in it. So this is how they originally looked, and I started I use the app VSCO to edit my pictures on my phone. Um, I do have the premium version, but I believe you can do all of this just without having that. So I start by importing the picture, and I normally start doing my pictures without like adding a filter or anything. I start just with the picture itself and kind of create like a base and then see like what filter like looks best. So to start doing that, I use exposure, and for film pictures, because that was my goal of these, was to kind of like make them look like a Polaroid picture. I think the way to like accomplish this is to make the pictures very washed out. So I turn my brightness up pretty far, and then I go into contrast and I just put it down some, just because again I like to like wash out the picture and then add back the colors in the way I want. So this I think accomplishes that. Number one rule is to adjust the like straightness of your picture. So I have this like wall behind me that like wasn't straight or isn't straight, and so you gotta do that. You gotta do that. Just like makes it so much more pleasing. You gotta. Number one rule. So I do that. I add some sharpness just to make the picture a little bit more high quality, and then slowly adding back the colors because I think they're very washed out right now. So I add the saturation up, and then I go over into my highlights, and I tend to bring my highlights down a ton and like just like make them down. It's just like a habit I kind of have. And then I bring the shadows up because I think again the picture goal is to have like them washed out. It's not to be like very like dark. It's supposed to be like white, and like on a Polaroid picture you don't really see a lot of like dark shadows. And then I go into the temperature and tint. I am wearing a yellow jacket, so I want the background to still be like white. So I brought the temperature down, just bringing a lot of blues back in and removing the yellows, because yellow is a prominent color in there. I don't think it needs to be like overbearing. And then I normally just add like pink into my pictures just to like make my skin more pink and everything. And then I go over into Grade and Fade, or wow, I butchered that. Grain and Fade. These I think really just like made them look like a Polaroid picture. Like adding them is basically what makes a Polaroid picture a Polaroid picture, is like grain and the fade of like a picture. And so after I do that, I'm left with like this washed out picture, and it's very white. There's not a lot of like color popping or anything. So what I like to do is go into HSL, which stands for Hue, Saturation, Lightness. And Photoshop also has this, which I tend to use when I do professional pictures. It's not, on VSCO, it's not as good as Photoshop's because I can't manipulate them as well, but it still gets the job done and like helps me be able to change each individual color. So I start with reds normally, and I just like go down the color order. I like to bring up my saturation, and I like my reds to have more of an orangey tint to them, so I do that. And then I like to darken them. I go over to the orange and I bring this up like a ton. I love oranges in there. It makes you a tanner, just everything. I darken them. And then I don't like my oranges to be yellower. I like them to be more red, if that makes sense. So I bring the hue over that way. And then for the yellows, I bring up the saturation because of the jacket. And then I lighten it just a little because I think darkening it wasn't my goal. I wanted it to be like a bright yellow jacket. And then I brought the hue towards the orange just a little more because I just like orange. I mean, I'm wearing orange right now. And then for the greens, I brought the saturation down. They're not very present, so you don't have to do much with them, I think. And the blues, I just brought up a little more. I don't even think they're that much present, maybe in the white wall. And then I didn't do anything with the purples. So that is what it looks like so far. I think it looks very close to my final product because I added a filter, and I used the filter C3. I think it just like, I don't know, I went through them all when I was going through the editing process, and this one was my favorite. Normally what I would do at this point would be go through and like pick different filters and see which one I think fits well. I ended up using this one just because I liked the way the colors looked with it and the way the filter like changed everything. So that is how I got the picture. And so what I did was go into this app called Unfold, and I used this to like create stories on my Instagram and stuff. I've only purchased one thing on here, but they have a lot of cute like templates and everything. So I purchased the film one, and I picked this one. I just add my pictures in it, and then I save them. So I would just put this picture in. It already has that on there, but I'll just zoom in. So I add the picture in there, and then I click save. And then I would go into my photos and I just crop out the white border because they do like make the picture or the template the same size for like Instagram stories, and I wanted this to be a post instead, so I cropped it to fit a post and just have like the Polaroid picture like I scanned it. I like how there's like little textures and down here that like make it look more like a Polaroid and everything. And yeah, that is how I got these pictures. I hope you learned something. I hope, I don't know, maybe you try it out on some of your pictures or something. But yeah, hope you have a good day, and that's how I edited my Polaroid pictures.